Okay guys, no more sawdust for a little while. Back to radio restoring. So this is the Minerva 462, the second Swiss set that I've got from I guess mid-40s. You probably remember the last clip I did on this was 3 or 4 months ago, where I just fixed up the cabinet. It had cracks diagonally opposite, and a few other little bits and pieces needed just to secure it up so it would hold together. And then it went back on the to-do pile until now. So I've been hunting documentation as usual. There's not a huge amount, but I got a circuit diagram which hopefully is reasonably close to what's inside this set here. Just a little overview of it from the RMorg site. One particularly useful photograph from another restore that's up on the RMorg shows the two fittings for the dial bulbs, which in my case are completely missing. So that's something we'll have to look at a little bit later and see what we can do to replace those. And I got specs on all the valves or tubes just so that I'd have them to hand. And I even found a short history of the Minerva company, which is mainly Austrian. Okay, so that's what I got. So let's get the chassis back out of there and put the cab away for a while, and we'll get stuck into getting the chassis back to life. Right, here's a quick first look underneath the chassis, since I think I did all the other side of the chassis last time. So high quality work in here, that's for sure. Everything nicely wired up and so on. However, obviously you start to see some of the challenges. Up around here it's pretty good. You have various waxies and things that are going to need changing, but you know, plenty of open space to work. The challenge is this whole area around here, because there are capacitors underneath here, and I have to find out what values they are and whether I need to change them and so on. And look at this guy right here. I've never seen a component like this before, because it looks to have a wax paper or a card outer casing potted with the usual tar or whatever on both sides, so it looks like it's non-polarized cap. Can't quite read what it says on it, but it's at least something like 1000 volts it says there, and I can just read a number 2 here. I don't know if I can get any closer to it. And so yeah, definitely haven't come across one of those before. And then there's a few other relatively straightforward ones are in here. So yeah, all the caps in here, by the way, are at least 1000 volts, and most of them are 1500 volts. Not too sure how critical that is, because obviously all my caps in my standard set are 630. So we'll have a look. So I guess I'm going to have to take a lot of photographs here and then start, you know, trying to identify what these guys are, and especially these guys that are looking around the back here. Most of the resistors all look to be in good shape. But yeah, we'll check it all as we go. Well, circuit diagram headache number 1. This diagram that I got, which is so far the only one I've been able to find, has basically got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 valves or tubes. My set's got 6. So there's 2 ECH21s, which are marked on the diagram here. There's the EBL output tube here. There's the AC21 rectifier and the EM4 Magic Eye. In my set, there's also an EF22. So back to the old internet and scouring around to see if I can find something a little better, because just to add to my consternation when I look at the tube lineup that I found online. It says it's got one ECH21, it's got two EF22s, DBL21 output, Magic Eye, and rectifier. And so, confusion prevails. So more research, I think, before we go messing around too much further. So as I get into this a little bit more, as the man says, it gets stranger and stranger. So, first of all, looking at the circuit diagram, I guess the symbols are not something that I'm used to, because, for instance, there are lots of these little boxes with diagonals across them, and they just say things like 08, 03, 04. Like here you see 05, 03, 04, etc., etc. And right now I'm struggling to find out what those are. So when you guys come across this before, I have a terrible feeling that there should be like a key with this, which would say, okay, this device is component type X and its value is whatever, but I haven't got that, so operating a little bit in the dark. Item number 2, if you look here, this guy looks like a potentiometer or some form of adjustable resistor, right? But when I mess around and look around and go tracing around, it's actually this coil right here. So between this common point and here I get 70 ohms, and between here and here I get 40 ohms. And if you look at where the tails of this are, it's exactly right as per the drawing. So I got 70 ohms on one side, 40 ohms on the other, etc., etc. Now, if I follow this center point here, it goes off to a 200 ohm resistor. So unless this is somehow my 200 ohm resistor, or this is my 200 ohm resistor, I'm sort of dead-ended. So yes, fun and games. The other thing that immediately caught my eye was a rather large capacitor sitting in here, paper wound. So I took it out to have a look, and as you can see, it doesn't look to be polarized, although there is a gold line running down the right here, so it might be. Oh, I can't really read what's on it. I think that says 1000 volts, and I think it says 2 microfarads. But of course, since the symbolism on the circuit diagram is giving me trouble to read, I'm having trouble tracing where this is in the circuit diagram. Plus, of course, this circuit diagram is not really related to this particular model, but it should be really close. So it's all I got for the moment. So anyway, this device, this capacitor, measures a dead short. So it's going to have to be replaced one way or another. But yeah, I haven't seen something like this before. So out of curiosity, I might just try and get the tower out of it and just make sure it is exactly what I think it is. So I'm assuming it's a non-polarized cap, but as I say, because there are only 2 electrolytics shown on the circuit diagram for this whole set, which are these 2 guys right here, which are these 2 guys right here. There are no other electrolytics shown on the diagram. So, fun and games. Well, the whole purpose of this is not just to do restoring radios, but to learn as you go. So we're certainly going to have to learn to get this one sorted out. Yeah, this capacitor here, by the way, is a 10,000 picofarad, rated at 3,000 volts. And so, again, here we are. Here it is right here, 10,000 picofarad. So I thought, I don't have any 3,000 volt styrene caps or anything like that. So I measured it on the old capacitance meter, and it measures 11,000 puff. So I'm going to leave that in there for now. So fun and games with trying to find my feet with this thing. So we carry on.